What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at DataDash, and today is December 11th of 2017. So today I want to talk about a question that I've been getting asked a lot inside the DataDash community. And as Bitcoin's price has continued to make new highs, as well as news and media outlets talking about it nonstop, this question has been growing in correlation. And it is no other than, should I buy Bitcoin? Now, it seems like a simple question with a yes or no answer. And for those of you out there in the community who are seeing this video, or maybe people who are traditionally with the channel, I know it might seem a little bit clickbaity, generic, and I'm sorry if that's the case, but I felt the need to really cover this. Now, I know many of you might be watching this because you see my subscriber count. You might see that I might be a channel that's respected in the space, and I'll be able to give you the perfect answer to whether or not you should buy Bitcoin because I'm a crypto expert or I'm a crypto guru. Well, folks, I'm not. Just like anyone else, I'm not a guru. I don't have the perfect answer. Now, I know there's many people out there who are going to give you the answer. You're going to go out on Twitter or YouTube, and you're going to find people who say, yes, Bitcoin, it's going to $1 million, never looking back, buy into it today. And they'll tell you that Bitcoin is, currency Jesus, and, it's never going to go down, and don't look back and just buy in. And a lot of people will go in and buy in. There's a lot of other people as well who are going to say that it's a bubble, it's a scam, it's a Ponzi scheme, and that you should never touch it with a 10-foot pole. And you're never going to buy it if you read that and you take that as a word of advice. I know there's so many people out there who think the answer is going to be simple, that it's a yes or no answer. But I'm going to tell you right now, nothing in regards to investing is a simple yes or no answer. And I'm not going to give you the answer in some, crazy package, some $1,000 expert package. Much like I've told you, I'm not a guru. And because of that, I can't sell you something that's going to give you the answer. I'm not going to give you a simple yes or no answer. I'm going to give you something worth much more substance. There's something that's going to help you actually decide whether or not this is the right time to invest in Bitcoin. Okay? So it's going to take a little bit longer. It's not going to be a yes or no thing, but I'll try to keep it short. All right? So when a lot of people talk to me about buying Bitcoin, the other question that I get asked a lot is, Nick, how did you get involved in cryptocurrencies? And, when did you buy your first Bitcoin? Well, I'll let you all know that right now, to be completely frank and honest with you all. I can't get you the specific number. I'd have to go back and look at it. But it was somewhere around in this range between $3,000 to $2,000. I think if I remember correctly, it was around $2,200 to $2,400 is when I bought my first Bitcoin. So really within this year. And that goes to speak volumes here in the sense of price. Bitcoin has gone from a little bit under $1,000 at the beginning of 2017 all the way up to 16 times that, around $16,000. And it's made higher levels than that, around $18,000 to $19,000, depending on what exchange you're looking at. So I've been able to benefit very well from it in the sense of price. And that's what everyone's been focusing on, is the price continuing to go up and up and up. However, in regards to the question of when I get involved in cryptocurrencies, the thing that I wish people would ask more than anything is when I found out about Bitcoin. And it wasn't right here. It wasn't over here. It wasn't over here. And it wasn't over here. I'm going to be dead honest with you all. Again, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not trying to, say I was, an early discoverer on this. But to be completely transparent and honest with you all, I found out about Bitcoin back in 2011. Right in this range, in November of 2011. Now, to be fair, I'm going to tell you all, Bitcoin was not created in 2011, or it wasn't created here. It was created back in 2009. So Bitcoin's been around for a while. I didn't find it the first day it came out, or the first week. But I did figure out about Bitcoin sometime in the mid part of November of 2011. And I can tell you a little bit about the story about how I found out about Bitcoin. It was by chance. At the time, I was pretty young, it was a few years ago, and I was quite ambitious for my age. I was looking into a lot of different topics at the time. It was really right when I started to get interested in learning about a lot of topics that I never heard of before. First and foremost, I wanted to learn about politics. I wanted to learn about economics and entrepreneurship. But the biggest thing I wanted to learn about more than anything, and something that just grabbed my attention like crazy, was finance. Finance absolutely captivated me, and I wanted to learn everything about it. I wanted to learn what money was at its core, how money was created, who owns money in the world, how wealth is generated, and how do stock markets work. And that's when I started getting involved in trading stocks and doing all kinds of different things like that. And for my age, it was pretty exciting to do those things and to kind of be ahead of the game. Usually people don't get involved in those things that young, but I found by chance at that time period on YouTube, as I was watching tons of documentaries and content, a video called What is Bitcoin? Now, some of you might have seen it. It's a simple little animation video that's been around since, I think, March of 2011. And it basically details in very simple details what Bitcoin is. And I remember watching it. And at the time, I got some of the general concepts of it. It tied a lot towards one of my concerns in finance. And it was proposing to be a solution towards traditional currency and the flaws that come with it. And I watched it, and I got sort of the concept that it was going for, but I was still very confused by it, and I had a lot of questions. I didn't get a lot of the promises that Bitcoin was making. I didn't get how it did it on a technical sense. It was this digital currency, and it claimed to be, the next big thing in finance and be something that routes around all the problems of traditional finance. Well, to be fair with you all, I didn't buy Bitcoin there. I didn't understand Bitcoin. And I know, as many people have talked about, I think everyone has that Bitcoin guy. And I'm definitely one of those guys who, could very well say, oh man, I saw Bitcoin when it was $2 or $3, or when it was 30 or 40 bucks, or even 500 at this point. Sounds like, you just want to hit yourself because, I didn't buy Bitcoin at that price. I should have. Everyone can play Captain Hindsight on themselves. But I'm not so much beaten up at the fact that I didn't buy Bitcoin at $3. A lot of people tend to do that, and I think it's the wrong focus. The thing I'm upset about more than anything is the fact that I didn't spend the 10 to 15 minutes it would have taken me to go through and skim the white paper of Bitcoin. Now, if you don't know what a white paper is, a white paper details an explanation of usually any given technology. And in the crypto space, any given cryptocurrency usually has a white paper to it, anyone that's even worth investing in. Bitcoin had a white paper at the time, written by the creator and founder of Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto. It's a pseudonym. No one knows who Satoshi Nakamoto is. Could be multiple people, but that's besides the point. I didn't spend the 10 to 15 minutes to research into this. I'm not mad about the fact that I didn't invest into it and I could have been a millionaire. I'm more mad at the fact that I didn't spend the 10 to 15 minutes to read it, because if I did, I would have bought into it at least a decent chunk with the money I had at the time, even as how young I was. I was investing in stocks. I could have easily worked away to buy my first Bitcoin or mine my first Bitcoin. As many of you know, you can mine Bitcoin. I would have been on the gun to do that right away as much as I could if I would have spent the time to actually read in it, and I would have never turned back. I can say that with confidence, because when I learned about Bitcoin in 2017, really on a fundamental sense, when I actually read into it and I understood the technology, I didn't turn back. Not because of the price, not because I thought it was going to go up. Sure, I thought that was going to happen, but I didn't buy into it because, I think this could go to 2,000 next week. It was because I understood the power that is going to come with the underlying technology of Bitcoin, and why cryptocurrencies, much like Bitcoin as a whole, are going to continue rising up over time. So, again, the whole lesson here that I really want to emphasize is understanding Bitcoin on a fundamental sense. Now, you don't have to know everything about Bitcoin. There is a lot to take in, and some people get really confused and don't know where to start. And I'll talk about that a little more later on in the video. But I want to start off with the basics. When you're asking this question of whether or not you should buy Bitcoin, you should ask yourself a few questions, and I'll give them to you right now. Do you know what blockchain technology is? Do you know how Bitcoin transactions work? Do you know what a peer-to-peer currency is, contrary to traditional currency, what it means to be peer-to-peer? If you don't understand these things and the power that comes with them, then I'd highly recommend, I can't give you an official recommendation, I'm not your financial advisor, but I'd highly recommend you spend some time to research it, and it doesn't take that long. It can take 10 to 15 minutes if you want to get a general idea, 30 minutes, an hour, maybe 2 to 3 hours. I know it might seem like a lot in today's world where things are moving so fast, but it's very important you do these things. And the reason why is because you should never invest in something you don't understand. I know I wouldn't, and there's a reason for it. I can give you a great analogy. Think about the stock market, for example, something else you can invest in, things that you can, buy and sell. Let's say, for example, I came to you as a random stranger and I said, hey, buy XYZ company, buy this company and its stock. It's been going up every week. Same argument a lot of people in the media have been making about Bitcoin. Let me ask you though, would you buy the stock of that company? Would you buy into it? Would you put your own money, whether it was $10, $100, $1,000, or $10,000 in it? Even if I was an expert in the space, would you do it? And if you said yes to that, that worries me to a degree because there's a lot of speculation that you're doing by just buying it without understanding it. What if I just was telling you this company and, I was mentioning the price and all the price action for it was speculation? Do you know anything about the financials of the company? How much revenue they've done, what the income is, what the product or service is that they're selling, what their competitors are doing, and how that company beats out the competition, where its price level is right now. That is something to factor in, to be fair. All those things together. Did you consider any of those when I told you to buy something? And if you didn't, and if you were willing to put all your money into it, much like people are now starting to do with Bitcoin, it is no different. If you don't fundamentally understand it, you should not put money in something. So I know I can rant and rave on this, guys. I know that the price action, a lot of people would say, Nick, the price action has just been continuously going up. Your argument seems invalid. Yes, I get it. I'm not arguing against you participating in Bitcoin. If you can't tell, I have a channel on YouTube covering it, and I absolutely love cryptocurrencies. I believe in it long term because I fundamentally understand what these cryptocurrencies are. I don't know if Bitcoin is going to go down tomorrow or if it's going to go up. That's why I never, give people price levels to look for, in 5 or 10 years. No one knows where Bitcoin's going to be. It could go down to nothing tomorrow, or it could go up to 50K within the next week. Things go crazy. And yes, I might make predictions and stuff, and I might have ideas of where it could go, but I have no finite answer. No one knows. And there are a lot of benefits to Bitcoin that I'm really optimistic about. But I also know there's some negatives as well. A lot of negatives that permabulls on Bitcoin, people who are absolutely optimistic on Bitcoin, won't tell you. It has scalability issues. Bitcoin can only process about 3 transactions per second. Big issue with Bitcoin. It needs to be resolved and fixed. You also have worries about mining. Is it sustainable long term? How Bitcoins are created. And along with this as well, the centralized ownership of Bitcoin. There's a few people who own a lot of Bitcoin in regards to the ownership of Bitcoin. So there are some things you have to consider, some problems that Bitcoin might run into. Not to mention there are thousands of other cryptocurrencies. What makes Bitcoin the best? Yes, it has a lot of adoption, but it has some technical issues that have to be considered in the long term. That could really see if whether or not this can be a global currency or a global digital gold, as everyone's been talking about Bitcoin being. So these things need to be considered when you put your money into it, especially when you're buying in at $16,000. Now, the reason I made this video, more than anything, I'm going to summarize it right here, is that I want people to learn about what they're investing in before they put their money into it. I know it's what I would do, and as someone who is a figure in the space, I know I could go out there today and say, oh yes, buy Bitcoin, buy it all. Or I could, try to cause FUD in the market and tell you, oh no, it's blah, blah, sell it. I'm not here for personal monetary gain at the end of the day. I want to help you all understand this and get a core fundamental understanding and build an opinion on it, just like I would with anything else, and just like any rational, kind-hearted person would do, who has a sense of morality in regards to finance and putting people's money at stake. All right? So that's it for the video, everyone. I appreciate you all for sitting through. And if you did, I'm going to tell you, you're going to get much further than those people who are looking for a simple yes or no answer. All right. And I hope you stick around with the Data Dash community, because for those of you who do want to learn, who are new here, I know there's many newcomers here as I've been seeing the channel and the community grow. I want to point you in the right direction. We have a lot of great content on the channel that can help you understand things. But for a lot of fundamental understandings, I'm going to be doing a new Introduction to Bitcoin series, a Bitcoin for Beginners series, where I'll have 5 easy parts to watch, where each will be less than 5 minutes, and they'll help you understand what is blockchain, how transactions work in the Bitcoin network, debunking a lot of the myths and fears with Bitcoin, and then also showing you how to get your first Bitcoin. All right. So there's that, and then also there's a lot of great people in the space. Andreas Antonopoulos, who does great speeches on Bitcoin, and tons of other figures you can just look up, not to mention simple little animated videos that's your style. Either way, look into those things. Look into a lot of the core things that you should understand about Bitcoin. Some of the things I mentioned there are perfect to start with. And you don't need to know everything. I don't know everything. Really, no one knows everything about Bitcoin. But it's good to start somewhere. And if you understand the core fundamentals and you understand why people are calling it revolutionary, and you assess those points, and maybe even the other side as well, if it's a bubble or it's a scam, hear both sides. Think for yourself. Don't listen to one voice. I'm no crypto guru, and no one else out there has all the perfect answers, even if they are. All right. Well, anyways, everyone, that's it for the video. Thank you all so much for watching. I apologize for the rambling, and I apologize if it might seem like a generic topic, but it's something I know many of you are curious about, and I wanted to give you a streamlined answer that's going to help you in the long term. Anyways, everyone, that's it for the video. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Nicholas Merton here at DataDash. I hope you stick around, and I'll see you all in the next video. Stay tuned.